Each week on Business Equity and Opportunities, we focus on a specific industry. ZeroCarb Lyfe produces what it calls the world's first ever zero-carb, high-protein pizza crust. Its founders took an idea, brought it to market, and landed some valuable shelf space in the process. We talked with one of the co-founders of ZeroCarb Lyfe, Omar Atiyah, about the journey.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
I had a friend that had invented an invention in 2006. I had been in foods. I'm a chemical engineering graduate from Purdue. I had been in foods for a big part of my life with the big foods companies. And when he told me about his invention that had been sort of sitting on the shelf after he invented it because he had diabetes and was aware that there was a big need for himself to eat pizza and not have his blood sugar spike. But it was kind of sitting on the shelf. And so I told him, well, this is an amazing thing. We can invent more products with my, knowledge and my ability to scale in operations. We could do a lot of things with this. And so we started the conversation the year before COVID. And then when COVID hit, everything else was shut down, and we decided this was the opportunity for us to refocus all our energies, myself, him, and a team of other partners that I had with me on other things that got shut down. So we focused on ZeroCarb Lyfe and launched it in 2020. Protein as a dough isn't necessarily unique to us. There's a lot of videos on TikTok of how you can make crust out of protein. There's people who use almond flour. There's cauliflower crust, as a lot of people may be aware. But what's unique in our process is that we're able to actually do it in a way that keeps the texture, keeps the mouthfeel, keeps the experience of a pizza slice, but without adding anything to the protein. So it's a pizza crust made purely out of chicken breast protein, not adding anything, and specifically not adding binder, which is usually what you need in order to have that crust hold itself together and to be able to hold it like a pizza slice. And it's the same thing for the chips. So we make the chips the same way, the taco shell the same way. We have a unique patented process of how we do it. We learned a lot about challenges that sometimes you don't plan for and can come your way. So, we started in COVID, like I mentioned. And then very quickly after that, the bird flu happened. So our main source of protein being chicken, actually, that obviously impacted our business quite a bit. But in general, in foods, it depends on the channel you're selling. And so, for instance, if you're selling in retail, there's a lot of relationships that have to be mastered. So you have the distributors. The distributors are really the ones who own the relationship with the final customer, which is the retailer, who then sells it to the consumer. Well, as a branded food company, we want to be able to have a relationship with that final consumer. But of course, our direct customers are not necessarily the final consumer when it comes to retail or even food service with restaurants. So there's nuances as to how you still manage a relationship, keep your customer happy, your direct customer happy, while at the same time, who you're really living for, who your mission is for, is the final consumer. Shelf space itself is it's real estate that is the most valuable on earth. Then you add to that, for instance, half of our product is a frozen product. So if you think of when you go to the grocery store, what percentage of the grocery is actually the frozen aisle, it's a much smaller percentage than the rest of the grocery store. So you're fighting with the giants of the food companies to get some of that shelf space to sell this new product that no one's heard of before when you're a new brand company. So it's incredible. And we've been blessed. We very early on had a very quick deal with a local grocer that was local to St. Louis and Evansville at the time, Schnucks. And the deal came by us just believing in ourselves and going and put ourselves out there. And very quickly they realized how unique our product was. So it grew rapidly from the 6 stores that they first put us into 80. Now we're in all the Fresh Times in Indiana, and we're being reviewed for national launch at Fresh Time. We just got accepted in Mariano's in Chicagoland, so all the 22 Mariano's stores in Chicago will have us on the shelves. And of course our 400 almost Sprouts stores. So Sprouts is an incredible brand out west and southwest as well. They loved our brand. They're amazing partners, and they've grown things with us and for us, and they're also growing. So we've had this incredible run with retailers, and now we've just joined a strategic partnership with a company that is very very in tune with data, very in tune with understanding what customers need in order to deliver to their final consumer at the retail space. And so we're working very closely with them to have our exponential growth phase next year. The most exciting thing, honestly, is the fact that this next year I can see us growing exponentially in retail. So, the first few years of a branded food company, just getting on those first few shelves, getting those first customers to believe that you can service, because in retail and in restaurant food service, it's really important that you can service the business. So if a restaurant's going to put you on their menu, and then customers come in to buy and they're like, oh, well, we're out of it, we don't have it for another week, that is not a good place to be. If it's retail and they give you shelf space, and then they run out and you're not servicing to refill that shelf space, that's real estate that they're losing money on. You can't have that type of problem when you're on retail. So you better be ready, no matter what the growth is that you have, to fill that shelf space quick and have that capacity to do that. And when you're a small company, you can't overinvest in assets. And what I mean is, I can't overinvest and have a plant that can produce millions and millions of volume, while at the same, because I don't have the business, while at the same time I have to be ready to produce those millions and millions of volume as soon as things start flying off the shelf, which our product has, thankfully been doing that. So it's sort of this delicate balance you have to strike, but always service well. I try not to brag about what we're doing as a company in every circle I have, because I don't want to be like that guy, But I was with a group of friends, and one of them happened to know about the company, and then they're like, and the 7 other guys are like, wait, you do what? And I tell them, they're like, dude, I've been waiting for something like this. You said pizza and chips? And I'm like, yes. So then they all get on their phones and they order it, and then I just received texts, from 3 of them that, man, this stuff is incredible. Why haven't you told us about it? So it feels really good to be able to be humble. At the same time, it's something to really be proud of, that we have these products that people have been waiting on all their lives.
Industry Focus is made possible by Circulus Digital Media.
You can learn more about ZeroCarb Lyfe, or if you're interested in starting a business and you'd like to revisit any of our past industry focus segments, the links live at beoshow.com.